Okay, I just want to thank everybody for being available for the meeting tonight. And this is our first meeting, the Athens Justice and Memory team. So this is our first meeting tonight. So before we get started, I just wanted to ask everybody for a moment of silence for the Leonardtown descendants. Thank you. That was for the Leonardtown descendants that have passed. So I want to hop right in and talk about the expectation of the team. Later on, we're going to have everybody to introduce themselves and tell they will be, what they are on the team. But first of all, I want to ask everybody to ensure that everybody should have their full participation on this team and throughout the entire process because we're going to be looking at timelines and we're going to be talking about we're going to be giving overviews of what occurred. There are going to be discussions and we're going to have feedback. So I want to make sure that everybody is a 100 give 100% in what you are asked to do on this team. So this is the Justice and Memory team. So I want everybody to ensure they know what the name of this team is. It's the Justice and Memory team. There is a Leonardtown project team that's separate from this. So when we're talking to people about the Justice and Memory, I want us to make absolutely sure we keep them separate. And that's if anybody call you from the papers or want to interview you, you need to make sure, particularly the first descendants, you want to make sure that you are talking to them about the right team. There any questions about that? Because the first descendant is going to be on this team and they're also on the Leonardtown project team. So I want to clarify that. And I wanted to make sure if anybody call or ask questions, you make sure what team they're asking questions about before you respond.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Um, I I'm just wondering. This is my first time, even with the meeting. What will we be doing? I mean, what is this Justice and Memory team?
We,
What is our
we're
goal, or
going
what are we doing?
I'm going to talk to you about that more.
Okay, all right.
Okay, in a few minutes, I'm going to give you some information. So people, everybody will understand. Since we're streaming live, Christine, that
Mm-hmm.
everybody have a clear understanding of what the Justice and Memory Team is about. Okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Mhm. Tonight's meeting, there will be no voting at all in this meeting. We're just going to focus on discussion only and talking about initial assignments and expectations for the Justice and Memory Team. Um, I do want to clarify that we have three people that are actually not team members and they will not be voting. They will be in a supportive role. And those three people will be Mel Gertz, Blaine, and Crystal. They're in supportive role, which means they're going to be supporting us with information or data or whatever we ask that we need, or they might make suggestions. But they are in supportive roles. So I want to clarify that. But since we're streaming, now let me give you a little background about Leonardtown. And I have all the charts and the data on the things that I'm just going to bring a brief overview or update, not of the whole where we are today, but just a period of where we come from. Okay, Leonardtown was located off Baxter Street. Walking from the stadium, football stadium, it was about 4 blocks up on Baxter. You turn left, and that was the beginning of Leonardtown. It was on 22 acres of land, but we only had 3 streets. It was Finley, Peabody, and Linden Row. In 1960, there were approximately 37 families that lived there. 63% had at least one full-time job. It's one 63% of the families there had at least one full-time job. 57% were property homeowners. In 1954, the homeowners participation, um, the, the homeowners there petitioned the city in 1954 to pave London Road and install a street light. In 1955, an ordinance was approved to pave Linden Road. In 1959, an additional ordinances to pave Peabody and South Finley Street and Church in their entirety and to upgrade the sewage infrastructure. And this would have improved the family lives and the property value. But the ordinances were not followed and improvements were not implemented at all, even though they were voted to be done. It never happened. Okay, in 1959 and 1961, UGA corresponded with local, state, and federal officials to get political power to obtain federal urban renewal contracts with the city to clear what they say was a slum area. And this was a urban renewal project, GAR 50. So where Leonardtown once was before it was erased, now stands Crestwell, Brumby Hall, and Russell Hall. So that's just a little bit of information that I wanted to give people about what happened early on, leading the initial steps leading up to the resolutions to where we are. I have all the data with this. Like I said, I can make this part of the minutes. Questions or discussion?
Patty, I appreciate you having so much material. This is Kelly, everybody. And yeah, I think it probably would be great if everybody had access to material. And I'm wondering, Crystal, could we set together a Google Drive or some other mechanism for making sure that everybody has all those documents that they can take a look at?
Yes, we can do that.
I'm going to try to send these documents out with the minutes because I just want everybody to know that this was not just dates pulled together. They were documents actually pulled part of what happened. But is there any discussion about anything that I just read? Was it shocking? Was it eye-opening? No discussion. Okay. Well, it was things like that that happened to our parents and to the community early on that caused a real concern, and it continued on. It just this was one part, one block, but it continued to the foundation that led to the erasure of Leonardtown. Okay. I want each one of the everybody to introduce themselves and then talk about their role on the team. And the reason I wanted to do this because we're going to be talking about race and we're going to be talking about justice. And it's going to sometimes it can be uncomfortable to talk about race and justice, and it can be uncomfortable to some people where they say, well, this is making me very uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable. If you are somewhat uncomfortable, then the group maybe can help you understand why something was said or if a word was used that makes you uncomfortable. But this is not, this is, we're out in uncharted waters. This is new to all of us. So the reason I'm saying all that is because I have not known us to have a race and justice team before. And Mayor, I want to commend you for putting a team like this together to look at what happened and what led to the erasure of Leonardtown. Thank you for that. But it's going to be difficult sometimes when you're looking at history because people remember it one way or they don't know what happened, things that happened in plain sight. So with that, if we would go around and everybody would to introduce themselves, and some people have a double role that I have asked to do things. If you would talk about what your role is and introduce yourself. I guess, Mary, you start with you or Crystal, one of you. I don't know who's on the network first.
Thanks, Hattie. I appreciate it. And welcome everybody to the work. I think it probably is going to be some work, but I think it's important work. And Hattie, I can't thank you enough for being willing to chair this group. And really for, I think, bringing to public light, as you described, things that have been hidden in plain sight. I'll share with y'all that it was about 20 years ago. I was teaching Georgia history to eighth graders, and I think that was probably about the time that I found out that there had been a series of neighborhoods completely erased off the map in Athens. Many of them in the 1960s, but certainly that was true in some decades prior. And there have been indignities in decades since. And mention all of that to note that in many ways, you guys are serving as guinea pigs. Because my intention is to, in the future, replicate this process both across the geography of Athens and other places where this was happening in the same decade, but also across time as things
Right.
happened in earlier decades and then in later decades, even up to the present. Um, while I think Hattie hit the nail on the head, these aren't easy conversations. They're necessary conversations, and they're the only ones that are really going to make us, and I say that for myself, even as a public policy maker, make us do the right things now because we can recognize the mistakes and indignities and the sins of the past, and that should lead us to better paths and better decision making today. So I'm really excited that everybody's been willing to gather together. I'm here in a role as support. So as Hattie noted, I'm not a voting member of the group, but certainly if there are other resources that you need, whether that's tonight or 2 months from now from the unified government, I'm glad to help facilitate those. So thanks again.
Thank you. Don't everybody speak up at one time. Crystal, you want me to call names?
I'm
Crystal,
excited.
go ahead.
I'm Crystal Coburn. I serve as Inclusion Officer with Athens-Clarke County. And I'm very honored to be here with each of you this evening to listen and honor and learn and work and grow together as we navigate through this process. I'd also like to be sure to acknowledge two Inclusion Fellows who are on the call, along with Mayor Kelly Gertz and Manager Blaine Williams, all of which have been working together to help make this happen. Their names are Shayla Lee, Shayla if you're willing to wave, and Allison Kay. And Shayla and Allison have been extraordinarily helpful, but they will be helping us sort of keep track of documents and make sure that we're providing as prompt and timely support as we possibly can.
Thank you. Blaine?
Yes, ma'am. My name's Blaine. My name's Blaine Williams, and I'm the manager of the Unified Government. I am hired by the Mayor and Commission to help run the day-to-day operations of the many things that the Unified Government does. And I'm fortunate to work with people like Mayor Gertz and Commissioners Parker and Hamby and our staff, like Crystal Coburn. And as Ms. Hattie said, I'm here in the role of support, and I'm also here to learn and learn about our history and what has happened in the past and how we can create a better path forward.
Thank you. Charlene, y'all gonna make me call names through the whole thing. Charlene.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Charlene Marsh. I'm a recent Master of Public Administration graduate from UGA. And I first learned about the Lindentown neighborhood and got plugged in with this work through my internship with Mayor Kelly Gertz last summer. And since then, I served as a community engagement intern with Historic Athens. And through that role, I was working on an ongoing paper evaluating the impact of urban renewal on the Lindentown neighborhood. So over the past several months, I've been working on compiling those narratives that have been shared by residents or former residents like Miss Hattie and Miss Christine, Miss Geneva, Mr. Bobby, who aren't on the call right now. And then right now, I'm working with a couple of students in the geography department at UGA to do some statistical analysis of some of the, I guess, property assessments that were done in Lindentown versus in the neighborhoods north of Baxter, to really look at like the impact that urban renewal had on the family wealth accumulation post displacement. So, and I also recently spoke with Miss Hattie about serving in a role as a secretary for the committee. So I'm taking notes and we'll be sending notes out to everyone, I guess, on the email after each of the meetings. So I'm really excited to be here and to continue to serve in a role related to research and advocacy.
Thank you. Jen, you there? Jen? Okay.
I'm here. Unmute.
Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Rice. I am a professor of urban geography at UGA, and I'm really honored and excited to be part of this group. So I have taught quite a bit about urban renewal and racial injustice and inequality in cities. So I'm looking forward to putting some of that to use here in my own hometown and with this great group of people. So I'll be serving in the research role. And also I've been asked by Ms. Hattie to serve as somewhat of a parliamentarian, which I'm happy to do to help keep us procedurally making decisions in an effective way that we can record. So I might ask for motions and seconds and things. So bear with me when we do vote on things. But again, that's me. So I'm really happy to be part of this group. Thank you.
Thank you. Geneva, are you there? Okay. Christine?
Yes. Yes. Hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead. And you're first descendant, so just say what you.
Yes. My name is Christine Johnson Davis Johnson. My parents own property, 193 Linden Road. I grew up there. Good times. My father worked for Mathis Construction Company, and my mother worked for it's a family that she helped to. She was a homemaker there in their house. The Tucks. Yeah, they're the Tucks. And she worked there for years, and then she went on to go to school and start working in the lunchroom as a head cook. And we were doing really great over there. And all this was a surprise. And after my father died, my mother had to deal with the situation of trying to sell the property, trying to get the right amount of money for the property. And at night, the bulldozers would come up to our house about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and roll the machines like in the movies you probably seen, where they like want to push you out. But we were the only ones left at the top of Linden Road, and they had blocked us so we could not go up. We could only go one way out. But that was kind of scary. But my mother was real strong, and we made it out. But it wasn't easy though, trying to for her to figure out where we were going to go, what we were going to do, and everything like that. But I'm just interested in, whatever we can, recognition or anything for our little family area over there, which is Town, which included, like Hattie said, the 3 streets over there, and Finley Street, Peabody, and Linden Road. So, but my mother and father both have passed, and I know they will be happy to know that something is trying to be done to recognize that it was not a slum area. There were hard-working people over there, keeping the houses up and the property up, families. Yes, and that's about it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And whatever whatever you need me to do, I do live up in Atlanta, but as I told Hattie, I can help any way I can. If I have to drive to Athens, and I have drove to Athens, I do still drive, but I drive a truck. And, so anything that I can do, I'm willing to be there, do that, whatever. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Mike.
Thank you, Ms. Whitehead, and I appreciate being here. And my name is Mike Hamby. I'm on the County Commission along with Mayor Gertz and Mayor Parker. I'm looking forward to the discussion, and Ms. Whitehead, I'm looking forward to the challenge of getting out of our comfort zones. I think we learn a lot when we do that, and we make progress when we do that. So I appreciate you and your persistency in keeping this going. And I look forward to learning and also helping and seeing how I can help with this process. So thank you, Ms. Whitehead, and thanks for everybody for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Freddie, are you there? Bobby, are you there? Okay. Well, we're going to move on then. Well, okay. I'm Hattie Thomas Whitehead, and I am a first descendant of Town, and also a chairperson of this committee. I'm trying to organize as best I can is to make sure that everything runs smooth, that I get the information out as well, and to make sure we do it in a way that people understand what actually happened to Town and what happened to us as children as we live through all of that. Um, this is a point where we're trying to, as a team, to come to some kind of a justice. I mean, it's really great that we have gotten this far, and very appreciative to get this far. But we hope as we work together that we will come out to some kind of conclusion that things were not done right, and to give some type of justice to that. I mean, we don't have any type of hidden agenda or anything like that. It's just to see what we can get done and how we can work through this as a team. So with that, the residents did come up with some resolutions once we got all the data and the first descendants, and we came up with some written resolutions. And as we talked to the commissioners, as we talked to the community, we had community meetings in different parts of the community. and we had podcast. So one of the recommendations were that we look at some of the wordings that was in the resolutions. So I don't want to roll that out tonight. I just because that's going to be a lengthy uh, operation to do and a process. It's going to be a lengthy process to get it done. But what I was going to ask Mariah and Mike, if you can work with Bobby and me to start working on the resolutions, on rewording some of the words in the resolution. And if you work with us on that, then when we get whatever ones that we agree to, then we can come back to the team with that and then process that with the team.
Sounds good to me. I'll be glad to help.
Okay. And I will get with you and Mariah and Bobby. And I was trying to pick them some of the most, I guess, the easier things that we could work on to get started so we can get to know each other. So that's why I chose that one. Jen, I would ask you as a researcher if you would start to look at a marker or get the information about a marker for the where Leonardtown was and see what it would take, what permissions, what could cost. I mean, just dig into that and see what you can get in that, and then just report back on our next meeting of where you are. We don't expect for you to have it done, but where you are.
Yes, that sounds great. Thank you. I will work on that.
Okay, and if you want to create a subcommittee to help you with that, then that will be fine.
Okay.
We just gonna at some point in time we'll look at timelines, but not tonight.
Okay.
And just on the marker question, I've got a couple examples of some other communities, just if you want to see that as sort of a starting place. One in St. Paul, I think Syracuse, New York, too.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Gertz. That would be great, and we'll look into various examples and those kinds of things. Yeah, thank you.
And we talked about some type of statement to the city as to what happened once we get to process what happened. We wanted the city to put out something to a statement or a statement of apology or something reference to what happened to the Leonardtown area community. And I know that we got to process information in order to get it out, but this is what I was going to ask um, the city to do, the mayor and some others to do at some point in time in this process. Is there any questions about that? Okay. Now, was it helpful for me to start talking about some things about Leonardtown, like the little brief in it? It wasn't a synopsis, but what I gave you all tonight, just a rough idea of what happened. So whoever is listening to this will understand what the Memory and Justice Team is about. Was that helpful?
Yes. For me, it was. Mhm.
Okay, I got two team members. So what the rest of you all think?
Ms. Whitehead, I think it was helpful, and I think having it put up on a Google Drive or something, if Crystal could send that out to us, that would be helpful, helpful
Okay.
as well to help me read over it and whatnot.
Okay. So next time, if I pull a little snippet together like I did tonight, will be, and I send it out early enough, would that be helpful?
That would be, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. And it's also designed so we can process it. We can talk about it and can go into a discussion about it. Just not just let me read it, but you know, I guess you all need to ask questions about it so we can, everybody can have a better understanding of what happened.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Um, we're going to work on a purpose once we get the resolutions rewritten for the wording, and then we'll work on a purpose for this team. But it's going to be hard to do that until we get a purpose, until we get the resolutions rewritten in a way that they should be written. Now, are there any questions?
I have a question, Ms. Whitehead, about future meetings. So I think you were if you were going to look at scheduling set meetings or something like that. Just Mayor Gertz always has all these meetings that I have to go to, so I'm trying to fix all this. So, so whatever you come up with as far as good for the group.
I was Most of the people, Mike, when I talked to them earlier, they had talked about Mondays was a good date.
Yeah, that works for me.
Does that work for everybody?
Yes, yes, for me.
Mondays at 5?
Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Perfect. Okay, okay. What Monday in September do you want to meet? You want me to pick one and send it out?
Sure.
How often would you like these meetings to occur?
Right now, once a month until we get something that we're really working on. Um, right now, we're just trying to get started, and we got to get the resolutions written. Once we get that written, things might pick up. And once we get into discussions of them, I'm sure things will pick up. But we have to get those rewritten first.
Right.
Okay? Is that okay with everybody?
Yes. New resolutions.
Okay, is there any recommendations that I need to bring other things forward besides what I brought forward? I mean, I was trying to put all the information that we needed to get started,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, we can start working in more detail. Now, one thing that Crystal and I talked about was for all the residents of Athens to raise their awareness level. We talked about podcast, and we talked about videos. So, and I'm going to continue to talk with her about that, and that way we can raise awareness with the larger group of people in the city of Athens, so it can make available so they can understand us talking about it, what happened. Okay.
I think that's good, Hattie, particularly when people can see things, the
Yeah.
maps of the neighborhood, photos of the houses that were there. I know for me, what's really striking is that one picture I have of a White House still standing there at
Right.
Baxter Street with one of the high-rise dorms having been erected right behind it.
Right. So, and I have that picture. That's one of the pictures I can send out too with the minutes that you just talked about, Mayor. I can send that to Charlene so she can send that out with the minutes, with all the other facts that I talked about, that I reviewed about what happened leading up to the erasure. Okay, so I will pick a Monday in September at 5 o'clock, and I will send that out. And Charlene, if you would send me the minutes, and I can approve them, and I can get all the minutes and all the documents to Crystal. And Crystal, you'll let us know where they are. Will you put that on you send it to us, so if we want to tell some people where to go to review the stream?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
And Crystal, would you like the minutes to be like in a, I guess, to mimic a certain format that's used by the ACC government?
To send them over as they are, and if they need to be formatted, we'll help with that.
Okay.
Hattie, one thing, is there any way that it's possible for you to find out, when we're gonna have this, so the other members can try to get into it, so they can be more involved with it, to find out what happened with the system or something.
Christine, like I called you, I call everybody.
I know, but I mean, I'm just wondering,
Yeah,
what happened. Okay.
I don't know, but I can reinforce, okay? I can
Right,
put teeth. I can put teeth.
right. I mean, it just
Okay. We can try to do more. We gotta make a commitment, okay? That's what we gotta do.
right, right. I had my daughter help me, so I
Yeah.
know, but
Okay.
I was committed to be here to see what was going on, because this is all new to me. And I knew the last time we talked, it was something about the houses and the fraternities over there and the things like that.
Okay.
Is that still something going on too?
Okay. Is there anything else before we sign off? Thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you, and thank you all for participating tonight. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
All
thank you.
right. All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Isa, how do I cut it off? Okay. I think I'm going. I think, how do I get off? Okay. Right. Mm-hmm. Leave me.